dead. Don't be. It's just a constant state of being. You know. Oh, so it's named now. It's not just theater in the void. Whoa. I mean, that sounds exactly like what a father would say before he names his child. That they have to have names. And then some people get four. Like, who lets you have that many names? Y'all can boo me. You can boo me if you'd like. Throw tomatoes at me. I'm ready. Hi. Hi, my name is cosmiicnana, but you can call me Nana. I am a slime alien, and I decided to become a VTuber because I wanted to go out and see what humans were doing. And I also am an idol. I'm an idol on my planet, and now I want to see if idol culture is similar to my planet here on Earth. And I keep getting distracted, so most of the time you will just see me doing whatever the hell I feel like, which includes this. I wanted to watch Jojo with my great friend Mitsuda. Yes. You can see that we're friends because we're standing in the same room. Whoa. No, that's valid. I get that. It's not like I can get sick anyway. Your human viruses don't hurt me. I think well, so everything's a blur. I might have seen some of them, but it's been over a year. Do I remember what happens? No. I I just know that my favorite JoJo's here. Jolene. Yeah, I was really surprised um with how long it took. I mean, yeah, I get, you know, it wasn't as long of a wait as between part 4 and part 5 because you remember when will Golden Wind get confirmed? That was like a huge thing because it took like what 2 years of just radio silence from David Pro between that. And and then they're like almost like a year, less than a year, they're like, "Oh yeah, so now we're gonna do Stone Ocean." Um, but uh-huh. Yeah, and part of me feels like maybe, you know, it was better waiting, the 2 to 3 years gap because Golden Wind was ready. I mean, yeah, granted when it did air on TV there was errors, but they always fix that within the Blu-ray release. That's just how it is. Poor animators are rushed and sometimes they don't sleep or eat because of how much time they work. But, I think I would have preferred to wait instead of doing the whole let's just rush it and then here's a batch and then wait half a year and here's another and then wait another half a year and then here's the rest of it. I get that it was an experimental thing, especially since it was a Netflix original and Netflix, basically provided them all the money for this, which I'm glad that it got funded in the first place because without part 6, what is Jojo? It's where everything kind of comes together with a nice little bow on top. And without that, everything would kind of just be lost.
Yes, what is JoJo? Top 10 questions scientists still can't answer.
And welcome to WatchMojo.com. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 reasons of why is JoJo.
So anyway, my point with that little ramble is that neither of us have seen this anime before, for useful definitions. But, we've both... you think you've told me you haven't read the manga, but you know where it's going.
Oh, yes.
Oh
yeah.
My point.
Yep, I know.
So that's where we stand.
A lot. Granted, I don't know the nitty gritty details because to me, the animation and like the battles is what means the most to me, is to see how everything works out instead of, oh yeah, this big thing happens. I'm like, okay. And, I want to see it work out in real time. That's the fun in it to me.
Alright. Well, now that we know all that, I think it's safe for us to actually get started.
Hey,
to be explicitly clear, I am in the same boat as Nana on this. I have not read the manga, but I have read the sorts of spoilers you get just as an unavoidable side effect of this being an anime of one of the most famous manga ever written that took, multiple decades to come out.
Yep. And it also doesn't help that we're both chronically online.
Yes.
That sounded so fucking depressing, me too.
So lonely.
Hey, buddy.
Anyway.
We're in the same boat.
Anyway, okay, we're going to be starting on 3.
Okay.
That is 1, 2, 3, go, not 1, 2, 1, 3.
You know what?
Just
Thank you. Go on, go.
Yes. Okay. Unless you have anything to couple, I think we can start.
I think I'm good.
Alright, we will be hitting play in 3, 2, 1, begin. Dun.
And I love how it was like a millisecond behind because I pressed play and it didn't load.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, no. I can't believe all of that grape Fanta evaporated.
Amida. Yes, that means it's rain. Oh, yay, the bastard's dead. Sorry.
Hey, you don't know that. Maybe that guy had a rich inner life. Maybe he donated his local, orphaned puppies charity. You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Army! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I love armies too much.
So, if you get hit in the head and it makes that noise, you should be very concerned.
Oh, it's this.
She saw your back molar?
Um,
Scandalous.
Mitsuda, you're not gonna have fun with this. Everybody's just like, haha, I'm gonna make fun of Jolyne.
Haha, this lady has regular urges.
But that is Florida in 2011, if anything. Gotta make fun of people, huh? One of my favorite things is that the animators actually cared enough to
hold
put
on.
detail into her look, like the fingernails and everything.
Oh, they cut out the line about the guard looking like Tom Cruise. That was my favorite part of this scene.
I don't think they would have gotten permission from Tom Cruise for that. Thank you, Hermes.
This is just that one episode of Seinfeld.
Great deduction, Jolyne.
Go,
We
go,
love
go, go,
you.
go. The most menacing thing we've seen in this series. Worse than Diavolo, worse than Ultimate Cars. Jolyne
Yes.
talking about flicking.
Please don't call it that again. That's upsetting. Oh my god. Sometimes I forget that Jolyne didn't originally have the belly button piercing. And that, she gets it later.
Well, that's not a crime, Jolyne. Doesn't really answer her question, now does it?
No, it's now a crime to be innocent.
In the distant dystopian future of the year 1999, crime is legal, and cops are illegal. Only one person can defend the innocent from being guilty. But that's the name of the series.
Only her mama can call her Jojo, okay? Her name is Jolyne.
You can trust me. I'm an elf for some reason.
Yeah, he has some really weird ears. Although, granted, I will say the anime design is a lot better than the manga design. Like, they've added more details to him. It's a thing.
This guy sounds so dead inside. I can relate.
Fun.
That was like half of her first digit.
There it is! You know what it always confused me. Like, how did her finger get hurt that much if she just poked it? But the stand arrow can like move on its own and shit. So
Apparently, the stand arrow can order people on its own. Man, that is gonna make so many more standing rats.
not the stand rats. That one fight with the rat in part 4. I don't want to find any more rat fights. Question is, how does Jolyne put on that makeup every day in prison?
Hard work and determination.
I guess so.
The same way Jotaro was able to have Star Platinum, like, go out and find an entire exercise bike even though it's a short-range stand.
Yeah.
I don't know what that way is, but, probably what she did or something.
Maybe it's like tattooed on. Because you could tattoo on makeup. I cannot stress enough how much I love Hermes. She's a wonderful
Oh, it's the
character.
narrator. I love this guy.
Yes, I'm glad he's back. I missed him. Oof. It's a lot of words.
You know, the fact that this place is called the Aquarium is literally the only reason Jotaro cared to come.
So depressing, but you might be right.
Boy loves his fish.
I like to think that he would end up adopting Foo Fighters as his child because, well, I don't want to spoil it, but he cares about Foo Fighters more than his own daughter. It's not where you should put cash.
I mean, I don't know. Lots of rich people seem to pull money out of their asses all the time.
True.
That isn't even, like, in the implant. That stitch is in your armpit. There are, like, major blood vessels and organs in there, and, like, maybe your spine. Definitely your clavicle. This is cause for concern.
I mean, technically, you would have to cut there and then underneath. I've watched plastic surgery videos. It is
Of course
possible
you
that
have.
that's where you could. I watch a lot of different things. I like to learn. Humans have a funny way of doing things. So it's always fun to see what you guys do. Florida. Smells like sadness.
Oh, you see, it's coming out of the point where she got stabbed with the arrow earlier.
Love how it's animated. Nizu Ichiban. Nizu Ichiban. I know what that means. It was under her hair thingy. I still don't know what they are. Are they clips?
And these guys are amateurs.
Like, I
You
know
don't hit the prisoner directly, you just don't tie their seatbelt before you leave. Plausible deniability.
that you know how to do this is a little upsetting.
That is a fantastic sentence out of context.
What, you got big tits for somebody who's so built?
Okay,
What a different line.
I'm watching the dub because I've got one eye on chat. And like, sort of guard with no hat just looks at Hermes and goes, "Those titties are suspicious."
I gotcha. So I'm watching in the sub because I have two monitors, so I'm looking back and forth.
You know, that ear left a very defined print. If that guy dies, we can use that to find his identity.
Yeah.
She is putting all of this together very quickly.
Because she's smart. She's the best.
Okay, why is Elf Lawyer wearing the Riddler's tie? Is he gonna be a supervillain? Is he going to go, like, get into a fistfight with Batman later?
Maybe. I mean, we are in Florida.
Gotham isn't in Florida.
No, but anything can happen in Florida. It's Florida. If you've ever been to Florida, you will know this.
If I was ever in Florida, I'm pretty sure I would just dissolve.
Never dissolved.
Jolyne, never do that again.
What did she do?
Oh, won't you? I love you so much. Yeah.
Okay, so she also did the nochu nya thing in English. Gotcha. Yeah, dayo. What the? Oh, it's alcohol.
Look at the road, my god!
I don't know why, but I thought she was holding like some weird Bang energy drink, drinking a bottle. It's like, oh my god, it's Bang energy. There was surprisingly not a lot of people on that road for Florida. Talking shit about Florida this whole time.
How old is this car that the windshield isn't made out of shattered glass?
I don't know.
Like, those glasses are embedded in the windshield. That's... the guy, like, how... I am trying to puzzle out the ballistics here, like... The guy... looks like he flew 30 feet through the air.
I mean, I have seen lots of romances be able to flourish even though people go into jail. You're just not trying.
Yeah, letting one of your friends get arrested for murder is one of the most romantic things you can do. You've read the Nightmare case. Come on, back me up here.
I mean, yeah, no, it's pretty romantic, especially you can have the little, what do they call them? Conjugation visits. So you could just go and see each other and
I think you mean conjugal visits.
is that
A,
it?
a conjugation visit would be like a visit where you go to work on your proper construction of sentences.
Oh,
Which also
huh,
very important, don't get me wrong.
huh. They both start with the letter C. Oh, she's pleading the fifth. A plea deal. I don't like him. I don't like his little hair swirlies either.
Okay, but why is he an elf, though?
I don't know. I mean, why do I have pointy ears, huh?
You don't have ears of any sort, you're just a pile of slime. It's not the same thing.
That you're right. Damn, that judge is old. Sorry.
Looks like a walnut.
Elvis alive in the swamp. More evidence that, Florida is mostly swamp. Ugh, I did not like that panorama of him. Jugonin. I want to pull out of his ears. Just pull them off. I don't like them.
Junk. See, like I said, you don't tie the seatbelts.
Yeah, you're right. It came back.
Is that Stroheim?
Oh my god. Oh, this is back when they allowed straitjackets in prisons. I remember when
You know,
they.
straitjackets aren't actually designed to, like, be good at restraining people. The reason they use them on, like, insane people is because they're supposed to be pretty easy to figure out if you're calm and thinking clearly.
Thought it was because they were kind of mean to him or something. I love how just like deadpan the police officers are.
This is just an average Thursday for them. Stands and all.
I wished you'd have a stand, Mitsu.
Sounds like too much effort.
too much effort. You literally deal with murders all the time, but how would that be any different if you had a stand?
Hey, I haven't been stabbed or shot at in, like, at least a month.
Dear Lord. Remind me to, like, not be around you when you're investigating shit or, like, doing your job. I might get hurt. Somebody might try to stab me, even though I don't think that would work.
That man's eyes are like actual frog eyes. I know actual frogs whose eyes look less like frog eyes than that.
What is that makes your eyes pop out like that? Is it hypertension?
I mean, if it goes that badly, I think it's, being like a mutant. I think I could go join the X-Men if you wanted.
Oh, she said the words Hatsukoi. First love.
Well, that sounds like a you problem, man.
I'm sorry, I love Jolyne's theme. He looks like a pig.
But he couldn't squeal like a piggy. It's because his throat was being blocked off.
Oh.
Down, 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 down. They're not doing that anymore. They haven't done that in a long time.
Okay, wait. Okay, so it's skipping to the next episode. It did not do the credits at all.
I'm not getting any credits on my end either.
Okay. So I'm ready for the next episode.
Alright.
I mean, I don't think it even had the ending theme added yet. We didn't get the theme song, so.
Alright, do you want to talk about what just happened, or...
Okay.
Because...
I would, but I could talk all day about it. I want to see what you think first.
What I think, I mean, I did enjoy it.
That's good.
Yeah, that's...
I hope so.
Generally better than not. I'm sorry, I wasn't really expecting the episode to drop off at the moment it did, so I'm kind of in the lurch right now.
It's a very set up everything kind of episode.
Yeah.
Like, we figured out how she got into the jail.
Yep, because Romeo drove into a guy while driving at 5 billion miles an hour, apparently.
Going at a curve too. Like, you're supposed to slow down to like 25 miles per hour when you're taking curves like that.
I seriously cannot get over the fact that, like, the guy they hit with their car was found on the opposite side of the curve, hanging from a tree. That sounds like it would be a bit of a Dylan.
I do not want to tell you why that is, but you, being you are completely right, and you are on to something, and I want you to keep thinking about that.
Oh, no. I know, like... I know that, like... that guy was involved in this setup. I'm just saying, even after considering that... It's a bit of a throw. If you managed to pull off a throw like that in a hammer toss, you'd probably qualify for the Olympics. That is all I'm saying.
Do they do hammer tosses in the Olympics?
I don't know. I haven't watched an Olympics since, like, I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
What else did they set up in this episode?
Jolyne is a human being. That seems to be interesting.
Yes. That is definitely a point.
Yeah.
And we got the pendant got lost, and now
But
somebody else has
someone has it. You know, they do need a vehicle to introduce stands that are not the one stand. Got at least two stands to have a stand fight.
Exactly. And then we have Jolene's dad actually cares? Question mark. Wow.
Who could have imagined Jotaro Kujo caring about another human being? Man.
You know, Jotaro reminds me a lot of you, Mitsu.
You take that back.
Oh, come on. You both have that, like, dead inside, demure, and you just kind of...
Jojo isn't dead inside. He's just very cool. I mean, he's not. No. He's not at all, but he acts like he is.
He has so much anxiety, so much PTSD, and so much depression put up into one man that he tries to act cool, but it's just nothing but, like, TV static all of the time.
Man, I really want to talk more about Jolyne as a character, but we're only an episode in. She hasn't really done all that much aside from strangle a guy to death, which, I mean, you know, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. So we know that she's... Oh, yeah, you go.
No, I think what you were about to say is more important.
Well, I still want you to go first, because you had a thought.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, unless you think there's any merit in sitting down and discussing all the various JoJo's masturbation habits now that we have a point of reference.
Well, let me pull up the Google Doc I do not have a Google Doc for this. I am kidding.
Are you sure?
You'll never know. You don't have access to my
Anyway,
Google account.
Jonathan did not know, never did it a single time in his entire life, died without ever discovering it was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, the dude literally, I'm pretty sure he had sex once, and then he died at his honeymoon. So, yeah. You know, you're correct.
Joseph?
He's dead.
Joseph.
The answer for Joseph is yes.
Yeah, that's
it's just yes.
That's basically it, yeah.
I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, god damn. I will have to put this out here. This is maybe an unpopular opinion for other people, but I'm pretty sure Joseph is bisexual. I mean, he's a whore. He's a man whore.
That's really what it comes down to, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
The man just had no standards whatsoever.
He got so much women, even when he was, like, in his late 60s. He was able to get college students. Like, he had it going on. Obviously. Jotaro, I feel like this man might be too depressed.
I feel like Jotaro only ever did it to, like,
feel something.
That too.
Just that depressed.
That too.
Wait, so the little sad face you're making makes me a little... I feel bad for it.
I mean, I feel bad for me too. Anyway, I'm Josuke the First. Josuke tried to get creative with it. He probably ran out of ideas, like, fairly early on. So Josuke just, like, logs onto Pornhub and goes like,
I don't think it existed in 1999.
I mean...
Well, actually, you know what? I have no idea.
I mean, he was like a decently well-off kid. His grandpa was a well-respected cop.
And then he had a very rich dad
That too.
that hopefully sent him money. I mean, that's the least he could do.
I mean, Joseph didn't know Josuke existed until like the first before, before he sent Jotaro over to take part in the events of Diamond is Unbreakable, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
No. Because Joseph knew of Josuke. It was not right before. It was actually, I think they said, a couple years after the events of Stardust Crusaders, because the Speedwagon Foundation was, doing research on Dio and, the flesh buds and stuff, and they figured out, oh, this kid over in Japan got sick around the same time Holly got sick. And it was the exact same symptoms. And they did a DNA test and we're like, oh, shit. That's Joseph's kid. And that's how they knew. But they waited, I guess, until Jotaro could go on his own to do the research because Joseph couldn't. He was old and frail. He was almost 80. So they didn't want to send him over.
Though he did go over immediately afterwards.
Oh, they did.
But
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway, hi Moody. We just finished episode 1 and now we're doing the incredibly research and intensive and intellectually taxing tale of cataloging all of the Joestar's jerk-off habits.
It's very important, okay? Very, very important. But back to Josuke. Josuke's very girly pop. I'm pretty sure. Hi, Chi! Hi!
Hello, Chi.
Me too. This is one of my best friends, Chi.
Hi, Chi.
Chi, this is my other best friend, Mitsu.
Hello.
I need to get you guys to talk at some point. I put you in a room and talk to each other.
My soul hurts.
Mine does too. I think that's just how they do. They just kind of hurt sometimes.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, Josuke's a little bit girly pop to me. And I say that is because he is referenced after Prince, who was a non-binary icon for the time, until, he got old and then renounced his ways and then came out as homophobic. But I don't like to think about that. I like to pretend the last few years of his life didn't happen. I like to pretend that we still have this wonderful non-binary artist of the 80s. But so, I'm pretty sure he can get a little bit fruity with it.
I'd buy it. Now, Giorno would only do it if he could find a way to make it kill someone.
To make it kill someone?
That boy killed so many people over the course of that run.
Yeah. I personally think Giorno's probably ace. I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I don't think he has the capacity to care. I just don't think so. Because
hence the pragmatism.
I think he's so opposite of his dad because, Dio's a fucking horny bastard. Giorno would not be. He's trying to be the opposite of his dad. Giorno's a good person while Dio's literally the worst being to have ever been created. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then we have Jolyne.
We've been over Jolyne already.
I'm going to... You know what? I was going to say something, but then that may count as a spoiler.
I mean, I very severely doubt there's anyone unspoiled sitting here in this chat right now.
So, this brings the topic to another one of my favorite characters, Anasui. I love Anasui. He is also very, very fruity. And I am pretty sure that Jolyne is the top in that relationship, and I will die on this hill.
100%. Not even. That's not even a question.
And you know what?
Girl can
It's a
literally
wonderful relationship.
make rope on command. Like, that is the essence of her soul. There's only so many things that can mean.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, have you seen what he wears? He has a fishnet shirt and a tiny little mini skirt with his ass and crotch hanging out of it. And he wears thigh-high boots. And his hair swishes all the time when he walks. And he's a beautiful man, okay? I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
That he is. Okay, so do we want to go the distance and try to grab hold of Johnny's deepest recesses, or have we run the course on this topic?
I haven't read part 7, but I know quite a bit about Johnny.
The thing about Johnny is he's basically the opposite of Jonathan. So
the answer is mosquito bites.
Okay, yes, yeah, that.
That's the answer.
And if you want to be obvious about it.
Also, but that brings up the question. I don't know how much of his body he could even feel anymore. I know he's paraplegic, but
I mean, the bullet went into like his mid-spine, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to search this up before, but every person who is paraplegic, experiences things differently because it's all a different situation for what you can and can't feel. So at that point, it really is just up to interpretation and what you think.
Yeah. At that point, it's more headcanon than canon.
Yeah. But he's a little freak. He's a little freaky man. That's all I can say.
That's the core of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. And then you have Josuke 2.
Josuke 2. The sequel.
The Electric Boogaloo. Or
Josuke 2. Josuke-er.
Josuke-er. Oh my god. He has 4 balls.
God only knows what that does to your body chemistry.
You know what? I have absolutely no idea, dog. But I do
he
know
dresses
that
like a sailor, but he is the only Jojo who has like a canon love interest before the last chapter of their book. So
he really likes
Hirose?
Yeah, I was like, that's her last name, but I forgot her first name. I feel so bad. Hirose.
That skirt looks like it would be so difficult to actually, like, wear. Like, you can't sit down.
Oh, Yasuho.
Yasuho, that was her name.
Yeah. And they're cute. They're cute together, or whatever. They're cute. I mean, if you've seen some of the panels, he literally only has eyes for her. Like, there was this cute little piece where they drew, like, Josuke running one way and Yasuho running another. And it was, like, different things like, oh, this is what one of them keeps in their pockets. Or, oh, this is what they think about. Stuff like that. And it pointed to his heart and said that, like, it just showed a little picture of her. And that's the only thing. And it was so cute. It was cute, and I love Araki.
Yeah.
I love Araki so much. He's great, and I love Araki. That's what's on my brain and in my heart. And we can't discuss part 9 because nothing's been said.
I mean, they did leak like a few days ago that the protagonist is going to be Joseph 2's like child.
Lol, you old folks already finished this shit.
I know.
Old! I'll have you know that I'm turning 23 next month. Okay, I'm not that old. Which, if you would like to wish me a happy early birthday.
Anyway, Nia, you
happy.
showed up a bit late, but we were just discussing all the Joestar's different masturbation habits. If you have, like, any last-minute thoughts to toss in before we start episode 2.
India has hot takes, so I don't, I'm a little afraid.
They are the hottest takes of all. Anyway, I'm gonna switch up our title card.
Sorry, I had to mute. I had to blow my nose. Allergies are trying to kill me on this planet.
Didn't you tell me, like, a few minutes ago you're immune to earthly pathogens?
I'm immune to...
Was that a falsehood?
No, I am immune to your viruses. Okay. What I am not immune to is pollen and mold. Now, does anyone here know what pollen actually is? Would anyone like to answer?
I know where you're going with this. I'd like to see if anyone in chat would like to contribute.
I will save the answer for last. But, so plant pollen in, what was it? The early 1900s, maybe? Basically, the US government was like, well, we need more trees. And we don't want all these trees that produce all of these seeds everywhere because they're annoying. So the female trees are the ones that would produce the seeds, things like a ton of pine cones or nuts and stuff. And then people just hated them because they would make too many damn trees. So what they did instead is whenever they would plant new trees, they only planted the male species, the male trees. Now, the male trees are the ones that put out the pollen, which is why in the last 100 years, the pollen count has gone up significantly than before, and why there are more people now that have agitated allergies than, let's say, 100 years prior. So when your grandfather complains that kids don't go outside enough, you can tell him exactly why. And it's because your sinuses are trying to kill you. And he didn't have to deal with that because he just fucking didn't. Okay? Now, pollen is tree sperm. Yes, that is correct. That goes into the seed and makes trees. Now, remember that when you're getting sick, and it's all the US government's fault. Yay!
The government is filling everybody with plant jizz. Anyway, I'm ready to start the next episode if you are.
That sounds like, if that was a stand, that would be horrible. The plant just... I don't even know what that would be.
God, you... Don't say stuff like that. You know Araki listens to this.
I know he does. Okay, Araki.
Alright, you ready?
Araki, if you're hearing this, I love you, first of all. I would like an autograph one day. But, if you make that a stand, I will actually cry for 5 hours straight in your honor. On stream. I will do it. I will force myself to cry for 5 hours straight. And this is a promise. I want the plan to stand.
Sounds like content to me.
Okay, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
Alright then. I will be starting us off on my end in 3, 2, 1. And it's on.
Okay, awesome.
A Netflix anime series.
Looks like we're gonna get the theme song this time. Whoo, I love the theme song.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, really, like, old Riot Girl style punk is really the only thing they could have done for a Stone Ocean theme song.
Exactly.
I really liked that shot they did earlier of Stone Free coming out of Jolyne and just kind of like flexing next to her, like, yeah.
It's very reminiscent of Part 3's opening. Stand Proud.
Yeah, I noticed that too. But also, Stone Free wears sunglasses, so it just kind of implicitly comes across more like just cheesy bodybuilder stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no,
it's
not the crocodile.
She's a special girl.
Fucking
Her mommy
Charlotte.
said so.
Fuck, I hate Charlotte. She scares me.
She just
The prison
looks
is based
like
on the concept of freedom and equality.
she just
In an
looks
American
like
prison.
an ancient forgotten Muppet. Like back from the era when Kermit was allowed to smoke on TV.
Wait, that was a thing?
Oh yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that. Uristobando. You know what? I like that word. Thank you.
I mean, it at least seems pretty straightforward. You shut your mouth. But I'm just talking about Shaft.
Everyone is just like
None of these
dead.
people have eyes. That's how you know they're not important.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, we're in Florida.
I love how they
parted
parted out the crocodile. Thank you. But technically, crocodiles do not live in Florida. We have alligators.
I mean,
crocodiles are from Australia.
Yeah, the dub translated that to alligator. I don't know what sub team is doing.
Well, I think in the manga it even says crocodile because they said crocodile. Although I don't know if in Japanese there's a difference between crocodile and alligator because they don't have either over there. Gwes! Gwes scares me, but she's pretty. I
mean, what happens if she rolls over and breaks her head open on the floor? It's a safety measure, Jolyne. God.
forget about that, about the bird.
But just what are birds? We just don't know.
The birds are very cute. That's what birds are.
I mean, yeah, did you see that one just there?
Look, besides the arms coming out, it was pretty cute. Besides, that type of bird is my favorite kind of bird. The little budgies. Oh, she's crying. Jolyne, you're too hot to cry. I'll dry your tears. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just noticed Gwes's hairband is little bird feet.
They don't really look like bird feet, though. They like sort of, the ones on the side sort of curve unnaturally.
And I guess, or maybe like a little, I don't know what they are.
And like the protruding like back foot is like That toe is way too short.
You think so?
They look more like Sai than anything else.
Yeah, you're shy around new people. That's what shy people do.
She's just shy, Nana. Have a little respect.
I don't like how her beanie has cutouts in it.
Yay, friendship.
As much as I love friendship, I don't think that's gonna be friendship. That they showed us how the pants work. Because for the longest, everybody thought it was like a jumpsuit, but it's a shirt with buckles that latches onto the pants.
You know, deep
And I'm
pants
pretty
physics.
sure in yeah, no, they starve you in prison. I'm aware of that. But I think in another screenshot, the boots actually also come out of the pants. And you didn't clean it up? Worst roommate.
Bet she never does the dishes either.
That was so small.
How do they even make pictures that small in that day and age?
You go to Walgreens and get it printed out. From you take a photo on your little Polaroid camera and then you get the SD card and give it to Walgreens and then print it out. Yoshi.
Look at that bird's face. It is having the time of its life right now. If you really slow down, you can see the exact moment his heart breaks.
Kawaii initial. It's so cute. She scares me so much. Beak-chan.
Whoa, ain't no country I ever heard of. They speak English and whoa.
Don't worry, guys. It's not actually bird abuse.
It's just human abuse.
Yeah.
And that makes it okay.
It's a banana now. Dead.
Yep, totally inconspicuous. Just
Trail.
don't step in the blood.
What's a blood trail in prison? I mean, there's so many of those, right?
What are a few bloodstreams between friends, huh?
Yeah. Friendship, I mean, you always gotta stab each other and draw blood everywhere. Oh dear. Oh, that's 120 volts. Whoa.
That's a lot of volts. Allegedly.
I guess.
Sando Nemo.
I love how it's Gigi dolls instead of a Goo Goo Dolls, but okay. Because you're watching in the dub, you're gonna have to hear them say the stand names funny. Also, I love how she sings Jolyne's name in the tune of
Jolyne.
Jolyne by Dolly Parton. Yes. It makes me so happy.
Hey, Jolyne. I need you to stop talking.
Oh, the rat.
Alright, now put on this rat. That's a sentence you could only hear in this series.
Get in the rat.
Or a fursuit convention.
You know what? Yeah.
You know what Gwess's problem is? She's just repressed.
What, Gwess is a repressed furry?
Look me dead in the eye and tell me what wouldn't explain.
You know what? Actually, you're right. I hate how she talks when she thinks they're cute. She goes, kawaii.
Kawaii desho ne?
Chorokichi?
Chorokichi.
The word was with God, all things were created by. What? What does this have to do with Jesus? Goo Goo Dolls. I love how there's just nothing behind those eyes.
You could put a coin on top of each of those and it wouldn't even, like, dip.
Very good!
Of course, Jolyne is the protagonist, so they can't make her actually, like, put on the head and hide her face. It's like how Robert Downey Jr. never actually puts on the helmet of the Iron Man suit, except when they're doing super close zoom-ins on his face anyway.
Or, you know, when they gotta do CGI things where he's very far away. Because you gotta remember, it's Robert Downey Jr. He plays himself in the Iron Man
I mean,
suit.
if they take too long without showing him, the audience might forget.
I don't think I could ever forget about Robert Downey Jr.
Never do that again.
Making her say chew after, like, every sentence. Chew.
A surveillance camera?
Colonel.
Colonel. It's a Taco Bell Fiesta.
I'm pretty sure Solid Steak would, like, lose his fucking mind if he saw the Mexican pizzas from Taco Bell.
Jolyne, this is a sneaking mission. All equipment is secure on site.
Ichihachi081. Okay. She runs really fast, even though she's in a giant rat suit.
Is that really a suit?
Anything's a suit if you put it on your body, I think. Right? Because if you were human flesh, it would be a human suit. Flesh suit, if you will.
See, it's 'cause you didn't put on the rat all the way. Your damn protagonist obsession.
I don't think this is because of the rat. I think she's just too far away from her in the stand distance. Oh, That's actually a very short range stand if you think about it. Definitely not the shortest that I've seen, but it's definitely kind of a shitty range. What did they rate it?
That guy they just splashed coffee on is going to be like hospitalized for months.
Oh yeah. Third-degree burns on your dick and balls. In the hospital forever. Oh yay! I finally get to see it! God, it's so ugly. Good, daughters.
Yeah, me too.
Gotcha!
Me too, buddy.
Gotcha! I love its little noise. It just yells. Bleh. I want to find the little
Goo Goo
hoodie.
Dolls, will you please get something to eat? You're not yourself when you're hungry.
What is this, a Snickers ad? Look up Goo Goo Dolls' stand stats. This
Just
shithead was with me inside the rat.
just chilling inside the rat.
I'm gonna call this stand a shithead. Me too. I like the color
My
swap we're at right
leg!
now. And it went away. But I did like the color swap with like the purple eyes.
Yeah, that's always fun. The creature is demonic in nature. Very icky. No good.
Oh, it's like a child. Sorry! That didn't come out right. Ew, it's a child.
Ew. Babies. I hate babies.
Yes, punch things.
Yes, punch the child.
My favorite stand.
They're literally just like $10 shades you could get off the rack at your local convenience store.
But it makes Stone Free so cool. Think she cares about the damn bottom bunk.
I mean, I'd care about the bottom bunk. I don't know about you all.
I kind of like the top bunk, to be honest. Like, it's kind of fun being that close to the ceiling.
I actually cannot believe you fell for that. Intruder alert! Red spy in the base.
Oh my god. Trampling on your heart. That's a little gay, Gwes. It's a little bit fruity. Stone free. God, Jolyne's so cool.
Or Stone Fui, as Singer always actually pronounced it during the song.
Fui.
Stone Fui. Or however that goes.
Oh, Nia's saying something. The song and what it forebodes.
But if the ocean makes people depressed, but the movement of the ocean is determined by the gravitational pull of the moon, but the moon makes people horny, according to Jolyne.
The moon also controls it when people give birth, I think, because the moon also controls the tides, and there's statistically more people born on full moons. So the answer is just the moon takes over every aspect of our lives.
And this is why we need to go out and kill the moon.
Yes. We all know that something lives inside the moon.
Fuck you, moon, you never had the cheese I wanted!
Yeah, more than just cheese. I am desperately trying to... No, don't start the next episode. Stop.
Stop that. None of that. Shame on you.
Okay, I am... Give me Goo Goo Dolls' stats. I wanted to look at their distance.
Alright. So, Goo Goo Dolls, or Gigi Dolls, or Cry Cry Dolls if you're watching the voice dub.
It looks like... their range stat is a B? 20 to 30 meters?
I mean...
I don't think Jolyne was that far away from... I mean, unless Gwes, ran to the other end of the building as well.
I mean, you know all numbers that appear in Jojo are just made up, right? Remember that bit in part 2 where Joseph said that Earth's gravity was twice what it actually is?
I tend to not think about that, okay? I also don't when I'm looking at the page for Goo Goo Dolls, it's its design is based off of a mummified monkey. You didn't have to tell me that. I didn't really want to know that.
But now you do.
Now I do.
And you can't unlearn that.
No, I don't think I ever will. Yeah,
That was a pretty good, intro fight for a yo-yo part, as it were.
Yes. So, the Gwes fight.
The Gwes fight. Really? It's more of an intro to Stone Free than an intro to, Gwes?
Yeah.
Because, the millisecond Jolyne realizes, wait a minute, my stand has a punch ghost form. That fight is over. Just all the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, because Jolyne's so much stronger than Gwes.
I don't even think that was a matter of, being stronger than Gwes. I think it's just a matter of Goo Goo is not a combat stand at all.
No, it is not. Also, Gwes is,
a ninny, and a sissy, and a coward. And little piss piss pee pee pants baby.
Yes, actually, yes. It very, you know what? You summed it up really, really well.
I pride myself on efficiency in linguistics.
That English degree. I'm kidding. Oh my god. But something that always bothered me about the Stan Goo Goo dolls is that it is almost exactly the same as the stand Little Feet from part 5. That Formaggio's stand in the fight between him and Narancia. It's the same thing. It just shrinks people. Like, tell me it's not the same stand. I would love to hear it.
I mean, there's a few differences. I mean, Little Feet, it was an issue of, like, it has to hit you and then you start shrinking very, like, gradually and slowly. Whereas with Gwest, it's a matter of, like, if you're within range of her abilities, she can just make you tiny instantaneously, but it wears off when she leaves. That's not nothing. That changes the dynamic up quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It's just another shrinking stand. Oh, look, some other people think the same thing. Under the trivia section. Let me see. Goo Goo Dolls is in some ways similar to Formaggio's stand, Little Feet, on the account that they're both physically weak stands with the ability to shrink an individual. However, there are several differences. Goo Goo Dolls seems to only be able to shrink living individuals, in this case, people who Gwest desires to befriend and control, while Little Feet, on the other hand, can shrink both living and inanimate objects. That is also true. I didn't think about that point, but yes. What else? Goo Goo Dolls is a long distance stand, which effects only remain as long as the target is within range, whereas Little Feet is a close range stand.
As I've already described for the benefit of the chat.
Yeah, and then the whole touching people to shrink them. Whereas Goo Goo Dolls don't have to do that. The speed of which they shrink. Goo Goo Dolls can shrink people down to a mouse size, whereas Little Feet can go microscopic. Formaggio can shrink himself, whereas Gwest cannot do so with Goo Goo Dolls. So yeah, I mean, okay, they're quite different.
Well, I'm glad we sorted that. But I mean, this episode is not about Gwest, as efficiently creepy as she is.
Yeah.
This episode is about Jolyne, who actually got to do stuff this episode. Hooray!
Yes. I am so glad that she's, starting to break out of her shell and start beating people up.
She made friends, kind of. Yeah.
It's
always interesting seeing how Araki characterizes characters by the way they fight. If that makes sense. Like, I mean, it's sort of very obvious in the beginning. You've got, good old Jonathan just wins fights by being better at taking hits than the other guy versus Joseph. Whatever the hell Joseph does.
I predict what you're gonna do thing. He's always one step ahead.
Yeah.
Defeating,
what was it? Was it Wamu or AC/DC? I think it was Wamu, by taking advantage of the fact that he went under before they invented stage magic. That was always fun.
Yeah. God, I miss when it was just so simple. Back when it was part 2.
But Jolyne kind of feels like a synthesis of all the Joestars we've seen thus far. Like, she's got a punch rush Ora stand, like, Okay, like every protagonist since we've gotten stands, but you know where I'm going with this.
That's just a Joestar family thing. You
Yeah.
punch people.
But she's aggressive when she's got an enemy in striking range, but she also does sort of emotional manipulation, talking to Gwess, knowing when to stay calm, which is a bit Josephy, while also figuring out very lateral thinking puzzles with ways to use her string. Like, that was kind of Jotaro's thing. I mean, it comes up with basically again. This is not a perfect analogy by any stretch of the imagination, but damn, I'm trying to get something interesting to do here.
Yeah. I mean, I think what she inherits from Jotaro the most is um, a lot of the enemies will try to play on people's sympathy, like, oh, you should feel bad for me, ooh woo, kind of thing. And instead, she's like, nah,
But
fuck that, punches
Jotaro
them.
Kujo does not possess sympathy.
No. I mean, he
He's a
does, but
hero.
I mean, like, he possesses sympathy somewhat, but uh, uh only a little. But he's like, "Fuck you, punch." Where Jolyne also does that. She's like, "Haha, fuck you," and punch. She can eventually get tired of the whole like, you just tried to kill me, but now you're apologizing type thing. Like, that shit would not have flown with, like, let's say Jonathan, because he's too nice. He would have been like, it is a manly thing
Jonathan,
for me to do to forgive
Josuke.
you.
I feel like
You
both of
know.
them would have fallen for that.
Yeah, unless you talked about Josuke's hair, then it's all fucking over with.
Yeah, then that's that, and this is this.
Yeah.
Murder is one thing, but insult a man's hair, that's just not done.
I do want to know, what do you think about Josuke's hair? I need to know this.
Like, I don't know why everybody go down on it. It's not, it wouldn't even, like, break the top 10 worst anime pompadours I've ever seen.
So I actually really, really love his hair. I don't know why, but I've always loved delinquent characters. And the little pompadour things that they have, they're just so gaudy and out there, but I love it. I love it so much that I think it's the coolest fucking thing on the planet. So I was like, oh man, look at Josuke when I first like watched that part of the anime. I was like, oh my god, he looks so cool. He had my favorite. He had like the best design, um, from what I had seen in JoJo. Just from his whole character design. He used to be my favorite. Jolyne is my current favorite, but
Yeah,
you
Jolene's
know,
my favorite too, just to put it out there.
I mean, I also like that they've been giving Jolyne multiple outfits. Like, most people don't really notice because they're all like the same
They're
kind of patterns
variants
and
on a
stuff.
theme.
Yeah. Like, the first outfit she had in the first episode back at the car crash, she was wearing like a tank top and like almost like they were like bathing suit bottoms, kind of shorts. And then the like mesh kind of skirt thing with the like ankle boots. And then she has the skirt version back when she was at the holding cell with the higher boots and the skirt, and then the tank top that connects. And then there's the one that you see most often, which she has the prison jacket and the tank top pants boot like combo thing that looks kind of like a suit, pantsuit. And then there's like, I think there's going to be the outfit that she has in her flashback when she was younger. And there's the outfit that comes later on in the anime. Like, they give her more outfits than the other characters. Like fucking Jotaro in part 3.
Jotaro,
I'm surprised he changed clothes at any point.
Jotaro got his outfit recreated at great expense, like, locally. Because he knew it was important to support local businesses. Like, you can't say that's not a positive quality he has.
Yeah, it's just, it was the same damn outfit. Oh, I have to wear a school uniform because it's good for me as a student. I think that's what Kakyoin said, but like, Jotaro doesn't really give a shit about school. He has said this, so why is he doing it? I never figured that out, you know. And some of the other ones have had different outfit changes, but like Josuke never had an outfit change. Giorno's only outfit change happened at the very end
the
when he
absolute
became
last
the mafia
episode
boss.
of his part, and it was just a direct palette swap.
Exactly. Like, oh my god.
I mean, it was a really good palette swap. Don't get me wrong.
It was a very good palette swap. It was very good, but like, I actually don't remember. I feel like Jonathan had a couple, and Joseph maybe had one or two different ones.
Joseph is weird because he had a very major image swap, like outfit swap, after his part was over. Like, if you go back and not really go back, but if you look at Araki Art's post part 2 featuring Joseph, like young Joseph, it almost always features him dressed in like an old-timey pilot getup with the goggles and the ear.
Yeah.
But it's not a thing he wears at any point in part 2.
Nope, he doesn't
wear
it.
Or parts 3 and 4 for that matter.
He doesn't wear it at all. It's just something that, I guess, in the last 10 years, Rock is just like, yeah, if I could, I'd make him look more like a pilot. But that also brings up the one thing that confuses me more than anything else, is the redesign for Jonathan that he did around the same time. Jonathan wears the exact same band that Caesar wore, and it confuses the hell out of me. It's the same striped band, and he wraps it around his head. This, for the longest, I couldn't tell which one was supposed to be Jonathan and which one was supposed to be Joseph. Because you'd think, oh yeah, Joseph would keep the little band that Caesar gave him. No, that's Jonathan. And it's been a discourse thing, and I don't even know if Rocky's ever said anything on it. I don't know if he ever will. I don't think he cares.
I mean, Jotaro wore that same sash as like a belt, so...
Yeah, I have noticed that's a similar pattern, his little double belts. Maybe Araki just likes drawing that pattern.
That's probably it.
I wouldn't doubt that.
That's almost certainly it.
But that then brings up, which outfit of Jotaro's is your favorite? Part 3, 4, 5, or 6? Because 5 and 4 are very similar, but they are slightly different, if you'll remember.
Yeah, I mean, part 3 is so iconic that, like, it's difficult to picture Jotaro, like, without further context, Jotaro not wearing it. Mm-hmm. Which I think is a powerful, like, fashion statement in and of itself. But I actually do really like his part 6 outfit, too.
You. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Part 6 is my favorite. I like the purple and the green stars and the freaking snakeskin pants that turn into boots. The
snakeskin pants are a very... There's something. There's something, alright.
Oh... It's something you'd, like, see out of a Gucci magazine or some shit. They don't have magazines anymore. Like,
but you know what I mean. Being a marine biologist pays very well.
Yeah.
There are many
I mean,
benefits to being a marine biologist.
yeah, I mean, but it's just like if I could have this outfit from Jotaro from part 6, I'd wear it all the time. I go out into public wearing that, and I don't care how many people look at me. I wear that every day. And I'm pretty sure people would start to think that I have lost the plot. But I know that I would be fashionable. And I think that's all that matters. If this 50-year-old man can wear it, so can I. Although I don't know if he was 50 in part 6 yet. He might have been only in his 40s. The only way that I know that he'd be 50 now is, and this is really weird, my parents, they graduated high school the same year Jotaro did. They're the same age. And I think about that daily. Jotaro could have been my dad.
Although, would that really have benefited you? I mean, we're seeing what Jotaro Kujo as a father does to motherfucker right now.
No. I would have had a terrible upbringing and daddy issues, and I don't think I want those. I've seen people who do have it, and it's very concerning.
And it is. So, one last thing before we start next episode, I'm bringing this up because I have absolutely no expression off of it. But in the spoken English dub, you mentioned earlier that they localized in the subs Goo Goo dolls to GG dolls.
Yeah, when the little what is it? The little picture with the stand stats, that's what it says.
In the spoken voice acted English dub, as opposed to all the other types of English dubs, they translated to Cry Cry dolls, which did mean that when Goo Goo / GG / Cry Cry was sort of menacingly strolling around, threatening Jolyne, it was just sort of chanting under its cry, cry. I thought that was a very effective moment.
Because in the other one, it would just say goo. And I think I was mocking its noises earlier. Because it was just so funny. It was so funny. I couldn't help it. It was hilarious. But that's really interesting. Has there been any other changes that I've said, oh, this is this, and it was completely different on your end?
I mean, there were a few individual memorable lines I thought were good. I already brought up what was it? I forget what I was thinking. Earlier when I said oh, they're talking about flicking the bean, and you were like, don't ever say that again. That was the word choice they went for in the voice acting.
Choice they went with? Oh my fucking god.
The Jojo dubs have consistently been incredibly good, and I will not take questions at this time.
That's so cursed. I thought you were just coming up with that. And I was like, do we need... I haven't heard anyone say that in years. Actual years.
I mean, that's one part of set.
I try not to think about 2011 as a time.
Anyway.
It's a bad time.
My favorite dub moment in all of JoJo is in part 4 during the fight with Tonio. I mean, the fight with Tonio.
Yeah, fight.
During the bit where Okuyasu is chomping down on the meat dishes that wind up healing him.
Yeah.
And Josuke by this point worked himself up into a complete frenzy about being convinced that Tonio was an enemy stand user. So he's physically trying to wrestle the the meat out of Okuyasu's hand as he's chomping down, and he just screams, "Okuyasu, for God's sake, drop the meat!"
Oh, that's great. I will have to say
it's just such a beautiful sentence.
The JoJo dub seems to be a lot better than a lot of other dubs that I've watched. And mainly, a lot of the dubs that I watched were ones from the past, like late 90s, early 2000s. And some of them were just terrible. Well, to the point where source material that was important to the plot was just completely lost. But it seems like, they've gotten better with it now to where there's even like good things to watch the dub for, in comparison to some other ones. But I'm more biased towards watching the subtitle ones because I don't know if anybody else knows this, but I'm learning Japanese and it helps a lot to listen to people talk. And
that is what they say.
The more I learn, the more like jokes that kind of have a language barrier I'm starting to understand, and they can be really funny because they're like jokes you don't hear because of the language barrier. So it's definitely fun to see them both ways, and if you're somebody that likes to watch different series multiple times, JoJo can definitely do that for you.
Yeah, I would. The ideal way to watch JoJo is dub and sub simultaneously, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just dig in, really understand, like, see where the breaks were, see how different translators translated the nuances.
Exactly, because there's the sub and there's the dub, and then there's also a wonderful website that someone did between the animation comparison from what showed on TV to the Blu-ray, and it shows the tiny things that were edited in the animation process to make things look clearer. It's a wonderful, wonderful website, and they have it for every episode. Now, I don't know, I think they're working on Stone Ocean at the moment, but they have all the past parts done now, and so I'd highly recommend looking that up. And then you can always compare it to the manga as well, because the manga almost is exactly the same, because David Pro's very what do you call it, persistent, and wants to make sure that it follows the source material as closely as it can. But there will be bits and pieces that are cut out, some memorable lines, some just kind of fluff that's not really necessary. I know for a fact that there are some things that have been cut out. You'll see threads on it like, well, this was cut out of the part, but none of them ever really like affect the story. And I mean, even sometimes, for example, in part 5, Araki will consult with the people working and actually add extra info to the anime, like to make other parts make sense, like the whole backstory with Fugo. I thought the way that it was handled in the anime was really well done, and with the nuances and everything, it gave a lot more depth to how tragic Fugo's backstory was, So it's definitely cool to see all of it together. And I mean,
so what you're saying is that Araki gave the David Pro staff some Purple Haze feedback.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be here till Thursday. Remember to tip your servers.
Wait, what the fuck happens after Thursday?
Don't ask questions you aren't prepared to know the answer to.
Oh god, I guess Mitsuda's gonna transcend the next few universes, and we won't be able to find him anymore after that. That's all I can assume. That's all I could assume.
It's not, as far as I know, something Araki did, but I remember in the fight in part 3, oh god, I can never remember the bad guy of the week's names. The guy made of sand who was the evil genie. The guy.
Hail to
Yes, that
you
guy.
thing. Yeah.
So when he brings the Sherry as, like, the sand golem, Sherry Polnareff, in the manga, like, Avdol just sets fake Sherry on fire and she dies and she's dead now. But in the anime, they expanded that whole segment to, like, have, like, Polnareff actually has, like, closure. He says, Sherry, my Sherry is gone, and no matter what I do, he can never manage to come back. You're nothing but a hunk of that scene. I fucking love that scene so much, and it just had literally zero grounding in the source material.
Exactly. I do remember that, because when I was reading Stardust Crusaders, I was like, they left that part out because it was such a big part, in Polnareff's character growth. At least to me.
He got revenge, but now he gets closure.
Exactly. And that's almost more important. No, it is more important than revenge, is the closure and being able to move on as a person. And I mean, Polnareff is arguably my favorite character from part 3. I love Polnareff. Always have. And I'm glad that they added it. Another thing that I remember that they added, again, is in part 5, because I guess that's the latest thing that I watched. It's the most fresh in my brain. But, and this is going to be a spoiler for those who don't know what happens in part 5.
Those of you who are watching part 6 before part 5, like normal people.
Yeah, no, if you're doing that, fuck, I'm kidding. Don't. But
don't go fuck yourself unless you're very flexible and you are in fact into that sort of thing.
Yeah, sometimes you have to have a rib cage bone, like a rib removed. But I don't condone that, because the more rib cage bones you get removed, they will come to life and they will come and kill you, according to that one Junji Ito story. But anyway, as I was saying, when Narancia died and his little floaty soul thingy was going up, they panned to Fugo, looking at his soul flying away. That was not in the manga. They gave more to him, like, Fugo's there. He's doing his own thing. I think Purple Haze Feedback was going on at that same time. I'm not sure. I don't remember when Purple Haze Feedback starts, but he was doing his own thing. But he looks up to the sky and sees that, and I don't even think he knew that his best friend had died. And that hurt. That hurt me a lot. When I saw that, I had to pause the episode, and I sat down and I had to dwell in it for a little while, because it was just sad, but it felt worth it,
Yeah, it was very sad. Speaking of very sad things, Jotaro shows up in the next episode.
Oh my god.
Are we ready to get...
Speaking of very sad things, here is this washed up 40-year-old man with post-traumatic stress syndrome, guys.
Fun times. So we about ready to get started?
Jotaro. I'm ready.
Alright. Hit and start in 3, 2, 1... Still a Netflix anime series that has not changed since the last time you checked.
Yeah. I think it's going to say that for the rest of these. Oh, but we got our recap.
Last time on Jojo Ball Z.
Forgotten Jojo Ball Z. This time we get to meet the DILF character. Yay! The silence from that, the fact you didn't comment makes me feel worse about saying that. Look, you can't tell me that Jotaro's not attractive, even though he's like a brick wall.
I mean, he's as attractive as a piece of architecture could be, I guess.
And I will agree with that.
Not, he's no brutalist building, we can agree that much. What sort of design structure is Jotaro? He's not like... He's very clearly not minimalist, but he's not really like a colonial-style house either.
You know what he is? He's made out of platinum. Star platinum.
Okay, but that's not an architectural style, though.
Look, you'd think I would know shit like this.
Okay, that's fair.
But I don't. I don't know anything. I know people live in houses.
I mean, some people live in houses.
That is true. Something I did want to comment on with the theme song. I love how for this one, it's a mix of 2D and 3D animation.
Yeah.
Because parts 1 through 3 had the 3D animation, and 4 and 5 had the 2D, and now we kind of have this nice little blend of them.
They're definitely working with knowledge of this all coming together at the end here. I wonder if they're like practicing for part 7. Because part 7 is, you know, very big spoilers about horses. And horses are notoriously difficult to animate in 2D.
Yeah. They should just watch My Little Pony and figure it out. Those are horses, right?
Yes. David Pro was going to animate part 7 entirely in Flash.
Flash, the thing we can't even use anymore.
No, the bun-head girl is Usagi Tsukino. You're in the wrong anime.
Like how all the background characters look so colorful in this adaptation.
You can tell they really went all out on the character designs on this one, even for the background folks.
Like, cause you just push her. Okay, thank you. Sanjipun. I know what that means. Jolyne, I know that it's very upsetting to learn these things, but in fact, this is how the American prison system works. It's not fair, it is not fun, and I did not like looking at Andrew Jackson on that $20 bill. He did not look well. He looked ill.
I mean, he's dead.
Yeah.
That seems pretty normal, actually.
I mean, if this doesn't say anything about the prison system, I don't know what else does. The money system thing.
That's capitalism. I mean, at least the uniform policy seems pretty lax.
Yeah. She's just baby. Leave her alone.
You say that, but that girl is actually in there for triple homicide. Yep.
She wouldn't do that. She's just a baby.
Okay, no, I remember that case very distinctly. Particularly gruesome.
She have such long blonde hair. Like, that's a lot of hair.
I mean, she probably spends all her, like, secret prison money on, like, hair products.
Oh, probably. Ha! Sorry, I forget that sometimes in the Japanese version, they will say stuff in English, and I just listened to her go, hi, in English, and it scared me.
True horror.
My favorite word.
She turned into the lightning itself.
How big her pupils are. Like, her pupils are bigger than anyone else's pupils.
I don't
Don't
think
touch
those
her
are
hair
really
like that.
pupils. Like, she doesn't really have pupils. She's just an endless blue expanse that could swallow you whole. Consume all that is your being.
Outer. I love all the little noise sound effects. What did it say?
That's some impressive Foley work right there.
Yeah, I follow this one Foley artist on TikTok, and I love all the stuff that they do. They worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they were showing different things that they did for different scenes, and it's actually really cool. There goes the Alexander Hamilton bill, and now she shits herself to death.
That is the most normal looking human being this series has ever produced.
Oh, that's one of my favorite lines. You're the only one who can save themselves. Oh, thank you, Jolyne. The only one you could save yourself. Jolene's a nice lady.
You told me in the past you've never read manga in theory and practice. Hida Araki's how-to guide on how to make manga, right?
No, I have not.
Okay, cause in that there's a bit where he says like one of his most important writing rules is that regardless of what he's writing, what series, what genre, the final conflict always has to be the protagonist by themselves. That's like a thing he believes really strongly in.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I like how the
Right.
ball is like 3D in some points and then 2D at some other points. Also, something that's really sad, but I mean, I understand why they did it, is they've changed Emporio's little baseball uniform, and now it's just generic green dolphin baseball and not the Cubs anymore.
I mean, it's been a long time since the absence of the Cubs made someone more sad.
I mean,
I don't watch baseball.
I don't know either, but you know, there he is, the caked up man. He has too much cake.
Boy.
Like, they didn't have to give him that much cake. Why?
But maybe it was one of the animators' birthdays or something. I don't know.
And then caked up on a fucking what is it, Saturday? That Dumpy's gonna kill somebody.
I mean, what do you think he's in prison for?
I'm redeeming a hydrate for both of us.
Okay. That seems important.
Photo. That water photo.
Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, theoretically speaking, I could move it to, like, be behind us, but that would interfere with some other stuff I have set up, so.
Does it ever go away? The photo?
The photo's.
Oh, yeah, it does. Okay.
The photo's gone, yeah.
I think I'm watching the stream beside. Man, I think I'm a few seconds behind.
Yeah.
Not your mom.
Is it her mommy?
Something that I realized, they never gave Jolyne's mom a name.
I mean, no.
Not in this anime adaptation.
No, they didn't.
Because, like, in other parts, they would give non-named characters names. They just didn't give her a name. Araki, I want a name. Something. Of Emporio.
She is one with the garbage. It's where he belongs.
Emporio is just a sad little child. Who is his voice actor?
The fact that Jolyne calls her mother Mama seems unusual.
Well, she calls her Mama in Japanese too. Bone.
It's his way of telling you that you're boned. If you go in there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my god.
I think maybe Mama, because you could understand that you're talking about your mom in both English and Japanese when you say it. There he is! There he is!
Hit him.
The really pretty man. With a stupid little fish hook on his jacket.
He likes fish. What do you want from me?
Ah, yes, her little outfit when she was 14. I love this outfit.
When she was 14 and the exact same height, weight, and proportions that she has today.
I mean, you weren't like that. You just hit puberty and you've grown and that's it. Now you're done. You're done growing. I mean, that's what happened to me. I just grew and then I stopped growing. I never grew any taller.
That man is dead now.
He's a cop. He's not dead, though, I don't think.
I mean, he could be dead on the inside.
Oh, probably. Yada yada. Yada yada does it. Jongori. I love Daisuke Ono. Oh my god. His eyes deteriorated due to cataracts. That is some deeply onset cataracts.
Okay, but that doesn't answer any of my actual questions. Like, if they threw him at the car, then the, distance he got makes even less sense. So most JoJos are teenagers during the part where they are the lead protagonist. It's interesting seeing what different aspects of teenhood Araki focuses on.
Yeah, because
Like Jolyne feeling getting told the entire world is out to get you, everything that has ever gone wrong in your life was inflicted upon you. That's what being a teenager feels like in my experience.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Jonathan was 20 when, he fought Dio and all that.
I'm very amused by the fact that Dub Jotaro explains the events of Part 3 as a few years ago. I kicked the ass of a man named Dio.
A few years ago, and then over here he's saying over 20 years ago, which it was over 20. Okay, so Jonathan was 20, Joseph was 19, Jotaro was 17, Josuke was 16, Jotaro was 15, and then Jolyne is 19. So yeah, all pretty young.
Yeah. Jonathan, you have that sort of obsession with going back and, becoming an adult as soon as possible. Joseph, you just have no respect for anybody. You're your own person. You do what's fun. Jotaro, nobody understands you. Josuke is just a slice of life protagonist.
He's just a happy, sweet little nice boy, but also is a delinquent child who will beat people up.
And Giorno, you had that sort of sense of, I know what's right. I'm the only one who can make things right.
He's a little mafia child. Yes! Sutaparatsunam Zawarudo! Yes! I'm sorry, I get so happy whenever he uses the world. I love the world so much. Well, he stopped time to make sure that Jolyne was okay, and he noticed that she had saved herself from getting shot herself, and I think he's proud of her. It's the subtle things.
It's a very Jotaro move to be able to stop time and use it in a fight purely for recon.
He wanted to make sure that she was gonna be okay, and I love that. Like, he can't keep her from getting hurt, but she's okay. Cheese.
There is an entire gun hidden in that ham and cheese.
I mean, haven't you ever
tried to
It's the
perfect crime.
I mean, haven't you ever gotten, one of those meat plates from, fucking, that boar's head stuff, and it's, that meat and cheese and, the spreads, and you put an entire assault rifle inside of it? This bitch.
That's not a stand. That's just someone's drone.
Oh my god, guys, we're not supposed to have drones in the prison. They're banned on prison grounds.
I mean, so are guns. But not ham, apparently.
Nah, Ham's okay. It looks like a little fairy, to be honest. Like one of those little things that look like those little floating flowers. Like they look like little fairies.
Jotaro telling Jolyne not to do something and Jolyne immediately doing it. It's an
And that's called
enlightening
defying
character
your.
moment.
It's called defying your parents. Fuck your authority. Oh, Jotaro, you know I don't know shit about aerodynamics.
What does Wesley Snipes have to do with anything here, Jotaro?
Here,
I'll rip this guy. She's so angry. That's not healthy, man.
oh god.
There are so... Do you know how many major blood vessels there are in your shoulder?
Yeah, but do you know how many times he's
dead.
been shot before?
7.
Yeah, he should be fine. He's fine, I assure you. Well, and there's the credits. And we're left with
There
that
you go.
really cute little to be continued arrow. I love that little to be continued arrow.
It's very nifty.
I'm looking up Emporio's voice actor in the
Well,
Japanese version. I'm trying to see if they're
you're doing that, as long as we're doing voice actor trivia, Emporio's English VA is Casey Mongillo. Probably the most prominent non-binary voice actor active today. Definitely the most prominent one I know about.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
For non-binary?
Yeah, Casey Mongillo, non-binary. Also
that's
the
cool.
roommate of Kira Buckland, who plays Jolyne.
Oh, that's cute.
Like
that's
actually
great.
mid-space.
That's cute. I like that.
Yeah, it's precious.
Do not start episode 4. Stop.
Yeah, no,
Stop.
that's all we had time for today. I'd say, even though we're already over what I expected this to take when I proposed the stream to you.
Yeah, sorry. I talk a little bit too much. I'm aware. But as I was looking up, the Japanese voice actress for Emporio is Atsumi Tanezaki. Atsumi Tanezaki. And it looks like the thing that I recognize as like the biggest thing is she plays Anya from Spy X Family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's a pretty big role, actually.
Yeah, that's
that show.
fairly important in the modern anime scene, you could say. I mean, I guess we may as well stay on this topic for a hot second. I mentioned in the past that Jolyne, by in the past, I mean a few minutes ago, that Jolyne is voiced in English by Kira Buckland.
Yeah.
who is a very big name voice actress. She's the one who played 2B from the video game Nier Automata. She
Hmm.
plays both Hiko and Kirumi in the various Danganronpa games. She was
Okay.
Mitsuri Kanroji in Demon Slayer. She played Mary in Kakegurui. And to bring things back to what I am particularly invested in, she plays the role of Trucy in the Ace Attorney series.
Oh, okay. Speaking of Jolyne voice actors.
She's also been she's a very experienced veteran voice actor who has been saying that Jolyne Kujo is her ideal, her dream role since before she was a professional. Much like
Yes.
I am given to understand her Japanese voice actress,
Exactly.
Fido's
Exactly the
Eye.
same.
I did that on
Yeah.
purpose. I'm segueing. The floor is yours.
I can actually read her name. It says let's see. Huai Dozu I. That's great. I love that. I love being able to read. But she is one of my favorite voice actors on the goddamn planet. She is so awesome. She's a very sweet person, and she just loves Jolyne so much and has loved Jolyne for as long as I think like forever. Oh yeah, since junior high for her. And she always wanted to be Jolyne. I inspired her to do the things that she does. And I just love her so much. Other things that she's done, she's only been doing voice acting since 2019. But ever since she got the role as Jolyne, she's been picking up a lot of big name animes. Um, like she's now Power in Chainsaw Man, which is a big role. It's one of the main characters. Um, she was in that one dating game anime thing that people like. I don't remember what it's called. She was gonna do something else that I wanted to see her in.
Well, while you look at that, I will continue on the side I was listening to. I
Yeah.
described Casey, like as a human being. But in terms of other roles, their most famous role by a country mile is the voice of Shinji Ikari in the Netflix dub of Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is
What
a
do you
dub I
mean by the Netflix dub? What do you
there's
mean by
two
that?
dubs. When the series was still fairly new and it first came out, it was dubbed by ADV.
Yeah, the
But
one my
then,
cousin watched
yes,
back in
yes,
like the late 90s and
yeah, that
shit.
one. But when Netflix got the license, I believe Studio Kara, the Japanese license holders, were dissatisfied with the Western dubbing scene in general for, I'm going to come right out and say it, reasons that I think are rather nonsensical. But they commissioned a whole new dub, and it
I mean,
had a
well,
much worse translation, but
yeah.
it did have Casey Mangilo, who was
I mean,
absolutely
yeah.
flawlessly cast as Shinji. I wish
Yeah,
they had a better script. It would have been just a phenomenal performance.
that's what confuses me a lot. I mean, the script, I know that it's never going to be perfect word for word when you translate it, but with each and every sentence, you should have the same meaning of the
Yeah,
sentence. Like,
yeah,
if
that
I say I
we've
go to the store in Japanese, you're going to want to have, it's going to have to be, I want to go to the store. Like, if it's going to need to have the same meaning. I get that there's some nuances, but try to explain the important plot points that we're going to need to know. Like,
for context for the chat, Nana has never seen Evangelion. I have only told them about the scene with Kaoru.
so in Evangelion is about a very depressed child, um and he has these mechs, and then there's the girl with the ginger hair, and then there's the girl that I think might be a robot who has the blue hair, and then the main character boy has a boyfriend with white hair, and there's all these mechs, but I also think that the world might be ending, and there's a lot of fighting, um and it's a lot of depression. Is that right?
Perfect. No notes.
Yay!
Anyway, aside from that, Mongilo also voices Nene in the Netflix dub of Call Me Can't Communicate, the other biggest anime of the year. The
Oh,
protagonist of
Police-san.
Shin Megami
Yeah.
Tensei 5.
Uh,
Marion from Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town. And Rainer Milan in Rocca, Braves of the Six Flowers, a series I'm sure none of you have heard of, but I would like to get that resolved.
what is
Because it
it?
was Roka, R-O-2-K's-A, colon, Braves of the Six Flowers.
Roka no Yusha? Yeah, Roka Braves of the Six Flowers.
That's the one,
It's
yes.
Roka no Yusha in Japanese.
Surprisingly decent as a mystery story for something that wasn't really advertised as a mystery story.
Yeah, I mean, it says on my anime list that it's a mystery, but only after action, adventure, and fantasy.
Yeah.
So
6 people called the Braves of the Six Flowers are chosen by the goddess of fate to defeat a demon god. However, when they gather, there are 7 heroes present, leading them to believe that one is an imposter on the side of the demon god.
sus.
You could say there is an impostor amongst us,
Amogus.
among us.
Do, 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 do,
So
do.
Jotaro,
Yes.
he's I was about to say he's aged, but he really hasn't, has he?
No.
No,
He does look a little bit more aged.
I, the,
But only in his like a little bit in his face.
I don't see it. I think he looks younger than he did in part 3.
But but that's because of the art style change. You can tell that he's older than the characters he's next to. Like he obviously looks older than Jolyne, but why won't this come up with Jotaro? Come on.
Kujo
Give me
Jotaro.
I just
Fucking rolls list as one. As a
this
like
is
list
not
of
coming up.
rolls.
I'm gonna ignore it. But Jotaro is a weird character to me. I love him. He's iconic. He's so needed for the entirety of the plot of JoJo. But I feel like if I met this man in real life, I'd just be like, okay, that's nice, Jotaro, and then just ignore him.
I mean, that's so many fictional characters, though.
Like, he is nothing but he's a brick wall. He's a brick wall of a man.
She's a
And
brick house. It's matter, letting it all hang out. Jojo is not a particularly interesting character outside of fights, except in the way that he affects the people around him.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, is a very interesting dynamic for a character to have.
I mean, yeah. And, some people think, like, oh, why would you make that a protagonist? But that's another thing about Araki, is I look at Jotaro and I could tell that's exactly what a person in real life would be. There are people that act exactly like Jotaro. I've met people that act exactly like Jotaro.
I am people who act exactly like Jotaro. Okay, that's not entirely true.
Don't insult yourself that much. You gotta give yourself some credit. But
no, but like, could you imagine like a Jolyne with the exact same personality, the exact same like dynamics, but with a father other than Jotaro Kujo? That would be like just so much less interesting.
It'd be like pulling teeth.
Because it would be like a dynamic that would make less sense, and we wouldn't get the Jolyne we got out of it. We wouldn't get all the good Josuke Jotaro moments. We wouldn't get the Kakyoin Jotaro moments, or the Polnareff Jotaro moments, that loving banter.
Him and his grandpa, him and all of the enemies he's ever fought. Him and Koichi, him and Rohan,
I mean, I don't recall him having a particularly dynamic with Rohan, to be fair.
No, he did. It was more one-sided. Rohan's like, I want to talk to Jotaro. I need to interview him for my manga. Jotaro is really interesting. I'm going to stand next to Jotaro. And Jotaro's like, okay.
Yes, Jotaro would be such an interesting protagonist for a manga. Whoever would write a manga starring him would be a genius, said the character written by Hirohiko Araki.
But that's just how Rohan is. He's like, very interesting, very, very, he's such a depressed soul. I must write about him. And Jotaro's like, okay, thanks. And just, just ignoring him half the time, but that's still a dynamic, I
mean, yeah, it feels a bit like what I would expect, like, a character like Jotaro to have as a dynamic with other people.
Yeah.
Which is not what I expect from Hirohiko Araki. What I expect is, what we're getting here in this episode we just watched. With, like, the way they inform each other, with the way Jotaro is so calm and collected and experienced, and on the other side of one second.
Me too. Me
the way Jolyne is just so mad at him all the time that she goes against all his advice, even when it seems fairly reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you a lot about her. And it's a very similar scene, like the first time he fought alongside Koichi against, the first fight with Kira. But it's different because the motives behind why they're breaking off are so different. For Koichi, Jotaro was a complete unknown. So when he says, hey, don't pursue the guy we're pursuing, like that doesn't make sense. Jolyne, she knows exactly how smart Jotaro is, and she just does not want to admit it, because she thinks he's a piece of shit. And she's not all the way wrong.
Yeah. See, I really like how that's your perspective on it, and it definitely makes sense. And I guess I think of it as maybe a little bit different, because my dad kind of acts a little bit like Jotaro. He's not a piece of shit, but he's very quiet.
I hope not.
very quiet, very reserved, very just kind of that really tall, stone-faced kind of man who gets business done, and that's him. And being a child, especially when you're in that rebellious stage, you get annoyed. You think they're trying to tell you these things because they want to keep you safe, but you just think that they're trying to tell you this stuff because they think they're right all the time. And if you've ever had an argument with a parent, you will often come out of it thinking they think they're right all the time, because you're young and you don't really know what is going on other than, oh, I think my parents are trying to control my life, but I definitely see, I guess, putting myself in Jolyne's shoes, like, why I would be so mad, because he just left the Jolyne and her mom, didn't say anything and never came back, only until she got in prison, and then starts talking about this nonsense about stands and shit. And I would be pissed too. And even though Jotaro's completely right in battle, like, even if the part of me knew that he was right, I'd be like, well, fuck you. You obviously didn't care about my safety back then. You left. You didn't give a shit. So why would you give a shit now? So I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah,
And
I don't think we're really disagreeing on much in our interpretation that way. Like,
yeah.
they're both trying to, like, be good, and they're both kind of fucking it up.
Yep. And that's why miscommunication is the worst thing for a relationship. Communication's key, baby.
Yep. Communication is key.
Talk to the people you care about. Let them know you love them.
Anyway, do you have voice actor trivia for this one, or should we move on?
Daisuke Ono.
Daisuke
My
Ono.
love. I died for this man. Okay. Daisuke Ono has been in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. He has won multiple awards for best lead actor, like in the Seiyu Awards. He's been, to name a few, Sebastian from Black Butler, Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You don't say.
He played Erwin in Attack on Titan, Silver in Sonic the Hedgehog.
That is very surprising to me, actually.
Yeah, Ju Shimatsu from Osamatsu-sen, which is another favorite anime of mine. What was some other things that are really popular?
He's the lead role in Umineko no Koro ni, which is like one of the most influential works of mystery fiction, like outside of the very narrow, like, insular mystery sphere ever written.
Yeah, I knew you liked that one.
I kind of want to stream that, but also it's a linear visual novel that's twice the length of War and Peace.
It is, and then it also ties into the rest of the When They Cry series,
I mean,
which is another fucking mess.
To be fair, the rest of When They Cry is not super deeply tied. Umineko stands alone very well.
You think so?
I definitely think so.
I've never seen it. I've just looked at the Wikipedia and all the works,
I mean,
like,
if you want to look for those connections, they exist, but Umineko is a closed circle murder mystery with zero character overlap with the rest of the series.
Interesting. Is it also caused by that thing in the other series that makes people kill people or whatever?
No, that has not come up at all.
I don't know anything about the When They Cry series, okay? I know bits and pieces. Also, I'm just looking at Daisuke Ono's different roles right now.
This is Kanji and Persona 4, Yusuke and Persona 5 protagonist defeats you. I could have.
I mean, he's in a lot. This is a
He's
long
in a lot.
list.
He's also in a lot of things is his English voice actor, Matthew Mercer, who has a
Yes.
Wikipedia page at longer than I am tall. His voice roles include Kanji from Persona 4, Yusuke from Persona 5, Kiritsugu, the protagonist of Fate Zero, Levi from Attack on Titan, Aikuro Mikutsuki from Kill la Kill, Chamber from Gargantua on the Virtuous Planet, Prince Demand, and Sailor Moon Crystal.
He played that one guy in the shooty game, and he says
did.
it's high noon.
Yep.
But I don't remember the name of, because apparently they changed it.
Yeah, because he was used to be named after a real person, but then the real person got arrested for sex crimes, so they decided they didn't want to be associated with that anymore.
Oh, that's not good.
Anyway, Mercer also voices Kaguya in Demon Slayer, Bigfoot in Looney Tunes occasionally, Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil.
I'm raising my hand.
Yes.
Asking
yes,
for
Nana.
a question. I am looking at Daisuke Ono's page. What is case closed? The target is Kogoro Mori, the detective boy's secret investigation. What is this?
It was like a one-episode OVA of a little side episode that they, for some reason, did not adapt into the main series. I think it was like a New Year's special or something.
Okay. He played someone named Masaya Murakami?
It's a very minor entry in the Detective Conan oeuvre.
Gotcha. Well, you can't say he wasn't in Detective Conan now, can you?
Are there any voice actors left we can say weren't in Detective Conan?
Was Yuki Kaji in it?
Yes, we went over this earlier. He played the bad guy in movie 24.
Fuck. He also played another person in Detective Conan from the Crimson Love Letter. He was Muga Iori.
Oh, yeah. That too. I probably should have started there, actually. That's way more important.
I'm just going down this list. It's just how OVAs come before movies, apparently.
If the wiki can be trusted, Fido's Eye has not appeared in Case Closed yet.
She has not, but that has only been because she hasn't been voice acting for very long. She might eventually.
I expect she probably will.
Get her more work.
Anyway, until you come up with something new, Matthew Mercer has also played Fei Long from Street Fighter, Edge Maverick, the protagonist of Star Ocean: The Last Hope, Eric Engel from Wolfenstein, Skelter Helter, the first boss of No More Heroes 2, Stryker from Mortal Kombat, Crom, the main protagonist of Fire Emblem Awakening, Walter in Shin Megami Tensei 4, no relation, Alvin from Tales of Cassilia, Anarchy in Batman Arkham Origins, Zato from Guilty Gear, Gangplank in League.
There's also something I know Matthew Mercer for, and it's probably what a lot of people know him for. It's that D&D thing.
Yes,
wow.
That is where I was going to leave off when we got to the end. He is also more famous than any of that shit I just said. The Dungeon Master of Critical Role, the world's most famous series that is just people live streaming themselves playing D&D.
I will have to say, to me, you either know him from Critical Role, or you know him from Overwatch, or you know him from Attack on Titan. Those are your three choices. Those are three different little subsections of the world, and you either know him from one of those three things. Sometimes they overlap.
Sometimes, but not often.
You get the anime version, you get the video game version, and you get the D&D version.
Yeah.
He's all there.
He's also the current dub voice of Majima from Yakuza.
It's interesting.
And in 2009, he directed a live-action Super Smash Bros. Fan film called There Will Be Brawl.
It's interesting. Right now, I'm looking at the voice actor for Hermes, and I'm trying to see what all she's been in. Mutsumi Tamura. A lot of these I do not recognize. Like Naruto. Who the fuck is it? Kakashi as a youngin. Okay, cool. Kakashi. Yes, I know I said that wrong, and I did it on purpose, and I don't feel bad about it.
So it's not that I don't enjoy talking to you, but
No, you don't. You don't enjoy talking to me. You're gonna kick me out on the curb. I'm going to starve to death, and I have to live in a box.
How will you live in a box if you aren't alive at all anymore?
Look. It's semantics. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, I was just saying that, like, if this is all we have to talk about, I don't see why we need to do this on stream. I think the audience is probably getting bored.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Probably.
I think I'm pretty interesting. I'm kidding. I tell myself that so I can fall asleep at night. I'm smiling at the camera.
Yes, someday we're going to have to, like, actually get our models rigged properly. Can't put this off forever.
Mine is currently in the works. And will it be done soon? Question marks, but I'm not rushing.
Rub it in. Anyway, Hermes is voiced in English by Tiana Camacho, who played Selena in Fire Emblem Heroes and Nessa in Pokemon Masters.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Pokemon, I was going to bring this up, but then I forgot. Casey Mongilo, in addition to all the other stuff I did, like half a dozen different Pokemon, voiced by this one person.
Good. More Pokemon. More.
It's probably a very, very lucrative job. You just go in.
So.
You just go in the booth. You go like, Chimchar, whatever the hell you're playing, and then it's like, yep. Okay, take my paycheck now, please.
I like Pokemon and their little noises. Because sometimes it'll just be like sounds, like rah, or something like that. And then other times they just say their names, and you'll never know which one's going to be which.
Until the exact moment they pull that trigger.
So sometimes it'll sound like, oh, that's a cute little animal. Other times it's just a man screaming in the microphone. And that is life.
Such is life.
Man, the only thing I'm sad about with, I guess, the first 3 episodes of Jojo that we've watched is there's not a whole lot of screen time for Hermes. She's in it, but she doesn't really do much yet. And I mean, she is one of my favorite characters. She's one of my favorite Jogros, comparably.
Sometimes it takes a real woman to be a real bro.
Exactly. It's your homies. You gotta kiss your homies goodnight. But, I can't wait to see more of her. I'm also really wanting to get to the point of her backstory. The backstory's really important for her character growth, and I want to see how it's done.
I mean, I figure it applies to most people, but yes, we are only beginning to scratch the surface
of Foo Fighters.
What exists within these bizarre adventures that are JoJo's.
I want my plankton inside of a dead woman.
That's a sentence. Anyway, We're gonna be doing next week, if I understand. Same time next week, if I understand correctly.
Yes, sirree. I will be
So,
here.
all of you look forward to that, or I'll be very cross with you.
Yes. And if he forgets, you guys can. You have my permission to beat him up.
Okay, why are you considering the possibility that I'm going to be the one to forget this?
Okay, that's very true. If I
Any.
forget, you can beat him up.
Okay, better. Anyway.
I don't wish violence upon my friend. I
Anyway.
promise. This is just a disclaimer.
Raid, end of stream. That shit we all do. We're going to be raiding longtime friend of the channel Uriguri, who is currently playing classic game Portola 2.
Hold on. Let me see if this works. Yay!
Yes, also,
I did this.
Nana. Nana is still here. They have not exploded since the last time you looked at them. Go follow them.
Yes.
Go get out of here, go follow them right now.
Thank you. I would appreciate if I had more followers.
Yes.
I'm going to start doing streams on my own very soon. Hopefully within the next week or two.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's probably just.
I didn't realize it was that soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get it before the next semester starts, which is like the first or second week of January. It'll probably be with the PNG until my friend is done with the live 2D model, which is getting close to being done? Question mark. I'll have to ask. I'm never gonna rush her though. But I wouldn't call it a debut because I don't know if anything's gonna be like super official. But at the same time,
debut is just a totally arbitrary term. I called my second stream ever a debut, and it lasted an hour.
Yeah, it's not like I'm a part of some big company like Niji Sanji or anything.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams, children. The worst that can happen is horrible disappointment.
That is true. The only person that can hold you back is yourself. And, corporations.
I mean, a lot of things can hold you back. But,
a lot of things
anyway,
can hold you back.
Anyway. Go follow Nana, then stick around for the raid.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And if you're not following Mitsu, I don't know what you're doing here.
I don't know how anybody who doesn't follow me would even find this stream, but anyway.
I mean, I found you randomly.
Yeah, but now you follow me.
True.
Anyway. Say goodnight, Nana.
Good night, Nana.